Let's get it on.
We don't give a what, we don't give a what. Get it on the floor, get it on the floor. Get it on the floor, get it on the floor. You don't want to party, then your ass gotta go. You don't want to party, then your ass gotta go.
It's party night at the Greenwood Tree pub in Manchester.
Let's get it on.
This is home to a gang of small-time drug dealers. Soon, 6 of them will be jailed for 66 years for their part in the killing of an innocent teenager. Manchester is a boom town. Investment has poured into the city centre. But just beyond the smoked glass and the stainless steel, it's a very different story. A few miles south, the suburb of Wythenshawe is much more than a bus ride away.
Wythenshawe was farming land. The Manchester Corporation bought this out to go and build on it, about 1920s. It was supposed to be a garden city in that it had grass everywhere. If you notice, there's grass and green, and they had to keep a certain amount of trees. It's a huge estate with, I don't know, pushing 100,000, I would think, live here. If you stopped most of the people here, they'd probably been born within about a mile of where they stood then. Everyone knows everyone else what they're doing, particularly the criminal fraternity. They tend to do a lot of their crime in the same area as well. They're not great travellers. Very rare they travel. So if you get a burglary or a crime in Wythenshawe, chances are that someone knows who's done it somewhere, and it's someone local.
And if there's a weapon involved, it's usually a knife. But this is a story of gun crime, which begins in the early hours of Sunday the 18th of July 2004.
Emergency with service.
Can you send an ambulance immediately?
What's the address of the emergency?
Yeah, he's here on the doorstep.
Yeah, where's that?
8 Brownie Close, love. Wait a minute, Ash, somebody's on the way.
Just repeat the address just to
Number,
confirm it for me.
I'm number 10, they'll have to come out number 8.
So where is he now?
He's here at the bottom of the stairs, love.
And what's the problem there?
He looks exactly real good at hiding, love.
Alright, how old is he?
17.
Ashley Bowman hadn't been beaten up. He'd been shot from behind as he was going into a friend's house. Ashley's taken to hospital, but his life doesn't seem to be in danger. Police soon discover a witness who'd seen 2 men running from the scene to be driven away in a white car. The next day, there's another shooting on the estate.
Hello, Collie Beach Ambulance Service. Repeat your telephone number to confirm it, please.
The guy has been shot in the foot, please hurry up.
Right. What's the address of the emergency?
Not dead, please hurry up.
How old is he?
He's 21.
Is he conscious?
Yeah.
Is he breathing?
Are you breathing, my
No, is he breathing?
Breathing, yeah.
Right. And when did this happen?
It just happened right now.
Right.
I've just found the gun behind me bin, so I phoned the ex-boyfriend to come round because I was scared, and he's just picked it up and he's shot at him in the foot.
Right, so he's just shot himself?
No, he's put it on the floor and he's shot
So
him.
he shot the gun by accident, right. Well, I'll tell you now, with your boyfriend sounding like that, they're not coming until the police attend. The police will be attending first rather than the ambulance.
Detectives from Manchester's Force Major Incident Team take over the case. The inquiry will be led by Detective Superintendent Martin Bottomley.
Fine, all right, cheers.
We have a number of shootings in Manchester every year, and a good number of them are undetected. And one of the main reasons for that is the climate of fear, particularly in South Manchester, where you have a drug culture and a gun culture. And there's 2 factions, I suppose. There's the gangs, if you like, and the normal members of the public. The gangs won't help the police because it's not in their nature to do so. Members of the public are frightened. They don't want to get involved with people running around with guns and drugs.
A ballistics expert from the Forensic Science Service discovers that the gun from the second incident is almost certainly the same one used to shoot Ashley.
It's simply a shortened, double-barreled, side-by-side hammerless shotgun. Oh, there's something wrong with the gun. When I dismantled the gun now, you shouldn't be able to see the firing pins. Right, you can see the left barrel firing pin is protruding. Could mean the left barrel could go off unexpectedly. Firing.
The police still need to find the person who used the gun to shoot Ashley. The hunt becomes more urgent because within 24 hours of the second shooting, Ashley Bowman dies from his injuries. This is now a murder inquiry. Ashley's mother, Jane, agrees to appeal for information.
Right, everyone. Jane's just going to say a couple of words and then we'll take a few questions after that.
All I need to know is why somebody take his life away for no reason whatsoever. He never did anything to anyone to deserve this. I just keep expecting him to come home and walk through the door. I can't believe somebody would do this.
Jane, if there's somebody out there who thinks that their child may have been involved in this, but is holding back, what would you say to them?
I just say, please, just come forward and just tell and help. Get this person away.
Hello there. From the CID, I wonder if you'd be willing to put up a poster in relation to the murder that occurred around the corner. I can give you a laminated one and I'll keep that one. Right, well, thank you very much for your help. There was a murder, if you're aware, on the 18th of July. I wonder if you'd be willing to put up a poster in your shop. No so,
we did know, we did come in here.
Did you? Right. That'll be ideal, thanks.
The police want to interview the woman who found the gun, Hayley Smirk, and the man who shot himself in the foot, Michael Roper.
Hello, hi, I'm Kate McAleen, I'll be dealing with this. Hi.
The police consult the Crown Prosecution Service lawyer assigned to the case.
I take it you don't know anything whatsoever.
I have absolutely no idea. So, first thing really is to tell me the whole story.
At 4:17 a.m. on Sunday the 18th of July, the ambulance received a call. It turned out that a young man by the name of Ashley Bowman had suffered a shotgun injury. And certainly for the next 12-24 hours there weren't very many concerns about him, but he died at 11 a.m. on the Tuesday. We really don't know what the motive is at all. We suspect it's a mistaken identity. Nothing to suggest he was part of or the victim of an inter-gang warfare or anything like that. Significantly, at 2:30 p.m. on the Monday, that would be the 19th of July, a lady called Hayley Smirk has said that she'd left some rubbish out in her garden consisting of an ironing board and a rolled up carpet. So she picked up the carpet and blue hold-all, nylon type hold-all fell out of the carpet. She looked inside the hold-all and saw a sawn-off shotgun. So rather than call the police, she calls her boyfriend, Michael Roper. Michael comes, walks straight into the house, picks the bag up, takes it through to the bedroom, and the firearm shotgun discharges, injuring Michael's right foot. The ballistics expert, he says there were two different types of shotgun cartridge within the shotgun itself. And if you bear in mind that there are 200 to 300 different types of shotgun cartridge in existence, the likelihood of you getting that cartridge and that cartridge in any other weapon in that location at that time is highly remote.
Right.
So in other words, he's saying there's very strong support for the fact that it is the murder weapon.
Right. Well, if they'd just rang up and said, we've found this outside and the shotgun hadn't gone off, then you might believe them, I suppose, straight away. But you'd never have known, would you, if he hadn't shot himself in the foot, would you, really?
The gun would have disappeared.
Yeah, so you'd never have known. So I think you've got good grounds to arrest them and interview them. I think you've got to treat them as defendants.
Okay, good morning everybody. We're going to execute a couple of search warrants at Mottershead Road, Bench Hill, which is obviously the home address of Hayley Smirk, and Pembury Close, Bench Hill, which is Michael Roper's home address. This is going to be a low-key operation. We're going to knock on the door and execute the search warrant. There's no intention to force entry unless absolutely necessary. I also intend that the two search warrants should be executed simultaneously.
Tell you now that you're going to be arrested on suspicion of the murder of Ashley Bowman. You don't have to say anything unless you wish to. What you're saying is given evidence. Do you understand that? Yeah. So there'll be other officers coming in here to search the house. So it's probably going to be searched for the rest of the day. And you're going to go to Elizabeth Slinger Road Police Station. Do you understand that?
Why?
You've been arrested on suspicion of the murder of Ashley Bowman.
Why?
So you're going to have to go down to the police station and be interviewed there.
Oh, Mr. Roper! The police!
This is not encouraging.
Just come up here, Hayley. Stand at the counter there. Sergeant, this morning, Hayley Smirk was arrested on suspicion of the murder of Ashley Bowman.
Do you understand what the officer said to you? What I need you to do now is put all your property in there for me.
That's everything in your pockets, Hayley. Anything on your wrists or earrings, if they come out. You've got a bobble in your hair and your laces from your shoes as well.
Problems at this address. There doesn't appear to be anybody in at the moment. The two doors are reinforced, so they're going to take some putting in. OK, Hayley, when anybody comes into police custody, they're entitled to certain things. You can speak to an independent solicitor free of charge. Have somebody informed that you've been arrested at this police station, and you can consult with the codes of practice that govern police powers and procedures while you're held at this police station, OK? Understand all that? In relation to the first one, would you like me to arrange a solicitor for you? Obviously, because of the serious nature of the thing, I would say it was advisable that you do, but obviously it's got to be your choice. Okay. Do you have a solicitor? To arrange the duty for you? In relation to anybody being told that you're at the police station, would you like anybody to be told that you're here? Your uncle?
Michael.
Michael. Hi Ian, just bear with me a second because Michael's just turned up in the taxi. I'll ring me up. Morning, Michael. We've got a warrant here to search your house today, and I'm also going to arrest you on suspicion of the murder of Ashley Bowman.
These are highly significant arrests. Both Hayley Smirk and Michael Roper are deeply involved in this investigation. There appears to be a prima facie case, at least of them being in possession of a sawn-off shotgun. They were in possession of it in Hayley's house within 30 hours or so of Ashley being killed. There may be an innocent explanation for that. It may be that one of them pulled the trigger. We just don't know yet. If they choose to speak to us and give us a full and frank account, their criminality or their perceived level of criminality might change. At the moment, they've got some very hard questions to answer. They are, in my mind at this moment, very much firm suspects at the forefront of this inquiry.
The time is now 12:15.
53. During this interview, you'll notice that there's a black box at the side of the tape machine there which has got a red light on. When that red light's displayed, that means that other police officers are listening to what's been said during the course of this interview. Okay.
What I expect from you is that you'll tell me the truth, because
No, because I've not done nothing wrong.
Right.
I didn't touch the gun, I just moved the bag.
Can you tell me how that shotgun came to be in your possession?
I wanted to move the rubbish from the front garden to the back, so that the rubbish man could pick it up from the side gate. So I've gone to move it and broken the ironing board, and a blue bags fell to the bottom on the floor. And I both didn't notice the gun. Didn't know if it was real or not. Shocked and scared.
Hayley Smirk sticks to her story, but gives police a key new piece of information.
And take me through what happened then.
I didn't see him shooting, just heard the bang. Meg was just swearing.
Was he? What was he saying?
Just saying he was going to kill Polly.
He said he was going to kill Polly.
So, the new days, it's Polly going to kill him.
Polly is Mark Pulfreyman, the leader of the Greenwood gang. His is one of the names that have come into the murder incident room since day one of the inquiry.
It is quite usual to have a name or several names within 72 hours within a week. But of course, this is, for want of a better term, word on the street. Some of it will be the truth, others will be putting people in for revenge or to get rid of them, you know, because they're impinging on their trade or whatever. Some will be done out of malicious spite. We've got to treat each piece of information equally seriously and got to do a lot of research and see where it leads us. OK, good morning, everybody. This was going to be a briefing about the status of the job so far. However, it's now turning into a briefing to execute at least one search warrant. We don't have any evidence, however, there is what I believe to be very good intelligence from 3 separate sources, which tells us that Mark, alias Polly, Mark Anthony Pulfreyman, Polly, is involved. In addition to that, an independent eyewitness says she saw 2 men running towards a white saloon car. Pulfreyman is known to drive a white saloon car, and indeed there's a white Vectra on the driveway of his house.
The police must act quickly before any forensic evidence on Pulfreyman or his car disappears. "27-year-old Pulfreyman was released from prison less than 12 months ago. He got his first conviction for robbery at 14.
What's your full name?
Mark Anthony Pulfreyman.
Can you tell me where you're living at?
No comment.
Who do you normally associate with?
No comment.
Are you working at present?
No comment.
It's fine, mate, thanks.
While forensic inquiries continue, he's released on bail. But there's enough evidence for Smirk and Roper to be charged. Not with murder, but with possession of a prohibited weapon.
You're charged with the following offence: that you, on or before the 19th of July 2004, without the authority of the Secretary of State, had in your possession a firearm, namely a shortened shotgun which had a barrel less than 30 centimetres in length, contrary to Section 5.1 ABA of the Firearms Act 1968.
Magistrates refuse bail and they're remanded in custody, partly because of police fears for their safety. Fears which soon seem well-founded. In a single night, there are 4 firearms incidents on the streets of Wythenshawe.
Number 2 is a blood stain.
4 people are injured when a shotgun is fired from a car into a crowd.
Yeah.
And there's an exchange of gunfire between 3 cars. These are the first of a spate of shootings, which include attacks on Roper's family and friends. Paul Freeman's red Audi, complete with bullet holes, is one of several cars seized from the gang. After 6 weeks, the police get the results of the DNA tests on the shotgun.
I've just come off the phone to Tom Brimley.
Yeah.
And he said the single profile on the trigger and guard of the shotgun has hit on a speculative search on Neil Anthony Bergin.
Now, his name is familiar to me, but
I can't see where
I
it comes
can't
into
place
in terms of the inquiry. He is definitely associated with Paul Freeman, so he's definitely in amongst the mix.
This is the first real evidence, rather than intelligence. It puts 18-year-old Neil Bergin right in the middle of the case. He's another member of Paul Freeman's gang. Ashley's funeral cortege drives past the police station where the murder investigation is being run.
All he was ever interested in was bikes. He rode a motorbike from 3 years of age.
Well, what was it like? Was it all right?
He was like cheeky in his own funny way. He used to go fishing when he was younger, but as he got older, he couldn't really sit still for long. He always liked to have a laugh, have a joke with his friends. Every, say, after tea time, I'd hear the music as I walked up the path. It'd be banging really loud out the house, and he'd be having a shower, getting ready, and his friends would be listening to the music in his bedroom, and they'd just be all having a laugh. And then once Ashley had died, there was no loud music, no door going. It was just really quiet.
If by now most of Wythenshawe has some idea about who killed Ashley, nobody's talking. At least, not officially.
Wythenshawe is really quite a tight-knit community. So if a police officer knocked on someone's door and goes into the house, immediately lots of neighbours will know that that person is assisting the police. They may be labelled a grass. Naturally, the community are in fear of what's going to happen next, but they're also in fear in case there's any repercussions on them if they assist the police. But it does need somebody to be firm, to be strong, to stand up and say, look, enough's enough.
In September, the detectives get the break they need. The first of 2 crucial witnesses comes forward. Having agreed to give evidence, witness X will be offered a new name and a new life away from Manchester.
You sit there, cops, the camera's there, isn't it?
Witness X's story is that a relative called Bez admitted that he was in the white car seen driving away from Ashley's murder scene. He also explains how Ashley came to be shot.
Bez told me that a couple of hours before the shooting they were arguing with Liam McCaffrey in a pub called the Talisman, Bez and Polly, and he shouted to Liam McCaffrey, "You're gonna get it," and if they found him late at night they wouldn't find him alive again, basically. And they tracked him down to this party. They shot someone, but they didn't know who they shot because it was dark, but it was meant for Liam McCaffrey. And now I think he realises he's got himself in a bit too deep, you know. And I just thought, well, if he's not going to say something, I may as well come forward, because 1, that was a 17-year-old lad got shot, and 2, that could have been him. They could have took him that night just for being in that car.
It now seems that Ashley's shooting was a case of mistaken identity, and that the events leading to his death started at the Talisman, where Palfreyman had an argument with Liam McCaffrey.
This is 20 past midnight, night of the shooting.
Okay.
Outside the Talisman.
There's quite a lot of people milling about.
They're waiting for something to happen, aren't they? The body language tells you that...
It's bordering on aggressive.
Do we get any close-ups of faces?
Yeah.
Anybody know who that is?
That's him. Everything about his demeanour, the way he stands, the shape of his face and head.
Shape of his shoulders.
It is,
like
that's
that.
right, yeah, yeah. Bit of honey monster type.
The police identify Ashley in a hooded top. And not far away, Palfreyman, with Liam McCaffrey, the man believed to be the intended target of the shooting. Nearby are the other members of Palfreyman's gang, now linked to Ashley's murder. Bez, his real name is Les Brown, and Neil Bergin. Four months after Ashley's murder, the police are increasing the pressure on the criminal fraternity in Wythenshawe. One morning in November, they pay a routine visit to one of Palfreyman's gang.
Can I just reiterate once again that what we're going to be discussing today could impact on people's lives and could put people at serious risk of injury if it gets out of this room. So anything that's said here this morning stays within this room and is not discussed outside. I'm sure you all know that already. Right, on Friday morning, Paul, I believe yourself and other officers executed a search warrant. Can you go through in detail what you did and what the aftermath of that was?
At 8:45 we executed a search warrant at Greatfield Road at Bench Hill.
Is that opposite Palfreyman?
Virtually opposite, it's adjacent, yeah.
So has he seen everything that's gone on?
Yes, I
Was
would
he
have
there?
thought
Did
so.
he
The
come
curtains were certainly twitching. We got into the address and a number of officers remained outside the address. PC Buckley, he'd seen Palfreyman's dog's body throw this black bag out of the upstairs bedroom window into the next door neighbour's garden. It landed in some bushes. We then opened the bag up and we discovered that there were 2 firearms inside.
One of the firearms is a starting pistol, adapted to fire live ammunition. The other is even more sinister.
So this is the so-called key fob gun. What it consists of is a main body, which has 2 firing pins, and a double-barreled barrel section into which you insert your cartridges. But the type is a disguised weapon, I would call that. And the way this weapon would work is you would pull the ring to cock it and turn the ring vertically. I now depress this button. That would of course strike the primer and discharge that barrel. Certainly quite capable of killing you.
Later on in the day, he went no comment on his interview. He had quite a lot of attitude, I must admit, and he was bigging himself up a little bit in the custody office. But after he'd stewed in the cell for several hours, he had a change of heart. And I got a phone call at home that he wanted to come across and tell us everything that he knew. I think Malk's probably the best person to tell you what he's actually said in relation to your murder inquiry, because he's told us a lot. Yeah. Robberies and burglaries and shootings.
Okay, go on.
He just started off the conversation with Raf's done a bad thing. And he said that Raf told me he'd shot this lad. He said he was stood in some bushes and the guy saw him do it.
The guy meaning Ashley?
Well, yeah, he said it was, and then he said it was mistaken identity. He said Raf was waiting in the bushes for Liam McCaffrey, and he's saying that Bez was driving the car. Was ordered by Polly. But basically he said it all started because of an argument that Polly had in the Talisman with Liam McCaffrey.
Liam said that Polly was a nothing. Polly was angry because Liam had disrespected him. That's what it was all about. It was just all about disrespecting each other.
He then says that Raphael's a sick man. He's very crazy. He's always, when he goes out doing jobs, he's always chinged up, which is full of cocaine. And basically he doesn't care what he does.
For the first time, the police have got a name for the man who shot Ashley Bowman. Raphael Smith, another member of Pulfryman's gang. Witness Y also names all the others involved in the murder and agrees to give evidence against them. He too will need police protection for the rest of his life. His evidence will form the heart of the case. The police can start to plan the gang's arrests. Towards the end of the year, the inquiry gets another unexpected gift.
"14 past midnight this morning, a robbery was reported at the Royal Naval Club in Newell Green. The victim was leaving the club when a black vehicle pulled onto the car park. 3 males wearing dark clothing, hoods and scarves around the face, got out of the vehicle. It would appear that they've threatened him with a power drill with an attachment onto it where they're trying to ram it into his face. Then moves on to 230 Greenwood Road, where we get the report of a black Nissan Primera crashing into a lamppost. Raphael Smith attended Withenshaw Hospital with quite a serious head wound. Officers attended and arrested Smith on suspicion of the robbery at the Royal Naval Club.
Raphael Smith is charged with robbery and is remanded in custody. Meanwhile, the rest of the gang make merry, blissfully unaware that their arrests are planned for a few weeks' time.
Prison life, man.
Prison life. Yo, listen, we don't want to get into that.
You know what I don't like about prison? Banging on your door in the morning, man.
Yo, see what? Yeah, them screws now banging, making fair noise. Telling me I can have one piece of bread.
I like to have a spliff in the morning before the screws start banging on my door.
I'm saying, like to fucking have a nice spliff, chill, probably use the phone in my bed. You know what I mean?
Headbutts off the teacher in execution.
The arrests for murder are scheduled for the end of January, but Pulfryman's back inside sooner than anyone expects.
Mark Pulfryman was arrested last night in the Greenwood Tree public house. It was a visit to licensed premises conducted by officers from the subdivision. As soon as the police walked into the Pulfryman pub, he ran out. Just before he did so, he was seen to place an item or items under behind the bar area. One officer who runs for Trafford Harriers, I think, caught him, and another officer went to see what he'd placed there, and when he had a look behind the bar, there was a quantity of crack cocaine, I'm led to believe, and a silver .38 handgun, which was fully loaded.
The arrests for Ashley's murder were carried out a week later.
The intention of this operation is to effect the arrest and search the home addresses of those persons involved in the murder of Ashley. At this moment in time, 3 of those people are currently in custody in prison. Mark Pulfryman is at Strangeways, but we will be searching his home address tomorrow morning. It's been searched before, and it's also been the subject of firearms attacks by local rivals previously. So last time we looked, there was certainly a bullet hole in the front door and in the kiddie's car. Next address is Overton Road, Bench Hill. This will be the subject of a firearms turnout to arrest Rocky Burke.
DC Taylor.
That will be sometime after 6:30, which is unusual for a firearms turnout, I appreciate that. But he has a lifestyle which means that it probably won't be in the house till 5:30 at the very earliest.
Yeah, Roger, we're in attendance.
Burden Avenue is the home address of Raphael Smith. Raphael is the man who pulled the trigger that killed Ashley, we believe.
Hello. I'm DCB from the Force Major Incident Team. I've got a warrant here to search your premises in relation to the murder of Ashley Bowman. So we're going to come in and search your premises. OK, all right. Don't worry about it. It won't be any miles or anything. Everything will be all right.
The next address is Motters Head Road, which is the home address of Daniel Timothy Jacobs.
Please, can you open the door, please?
Please, open the door. You get the lights on so you can see who I am. Right, there you go. I'm DC Gaffney from Wythenshawe, and I work for the Force Major Incident Team. All right, I'm here to see if Danny Jacobs is in.
No, he's not in.
He's not in.
I can guarantee that, yeah.
Right.
In
view of that, we've got a warrant.
Following a search of the addresses, we'll ensure that a trained drugs and firearms dog will also be deployed at each address. You should bear in mind that intelligence suggests that all these individuals are concerned in the supply of drugs within the Wythenshawe estate, and therefore, for the safety reasons and for the preservation of evidence, it is imperative that once entry has been gained, these offenders are secured at the earliest possible opportunity. They'll be arrested on suspicion of murder by the team leader, who will then ensure they are searched. They'll then be handed over to uniformed staff and they'll be transported to designated police stations.
Put yourself here.
Hello.
I'm just going to go through some details with you. All right, and then we'll go through your rights and entitlements.
Where you come from today?
Strange ways.
Do you understand why you've been arrested? Yeah.
You're on suspicion of murder. We'll authorise you to be taken so you'll be questioned further about the matter. Okay. What's your surname?
Halford.
Can you spell that, please?
P-A-L-F-R-E-Y-M-A-N.
F-R?
E-Y-M-A-N.
Thank you. And your first name?
Pardon?
Your first name?
Mark Anthony.
Brown.
And your first name? Les.
Smith. Smith?
Yeah.
And your first name?
Raphael.
Could you spell that, please?
R-A-P-H-A-E-L.
Thank you.
We've also got the right to have somebody informed you at the police station today. You know?
Do you have a drug dependency of any kind? Do you have a drug dependency of any kind?
And this particular box here is just to inform you that your fingerprints and DNA form part of a computerised collection, so as such to be checked for any crimes.
Have your comment?
By the end of the day, the only one of the 6 targets still at large is Danny Jacobs. The police have a maximum of 4 days to interview the suspects.
If you want to stop at any time and speak to your solicitor in private, if you say so, the interview will be stopped for that purpose, okay?
How was it arranged that you would go to the Talisman that day?
Were you with Mark Polfram on the night that Ashley was murdered?
What did you think it meant by, I think it's Liam McCaffrey?
Is there anybody else can vouch for you at this time?
The words that Raf used have earned me stripes and have laid one of them out like a dog. I think it's Liam McCaffrey. Where did that take place?
Your DNA, Neil Anthony Bergen's DNA, is on the trigger and trigger guard area of that double-barrelled shotgun. Explain that to me.
With the clock running, Martin Bottomley brings the CPS lawyer up to date.
In relation to Bez, interview's ongoing, still no comment. He's just asked for a further consultation. Critical time with him is half 8, so I imagine we'll get back to you shortly after the next interview to let you know what's going on.
The CPS lawyer, Kate McAlinden, needs to authorise the charges. But with time running out, she has to do it at home.
The MG3 is here in respect of Raphael Smith and Mark Polfram, currently in custody at Longside.
Yeah.
The officers, like I say, have finished interviewing them now, and it's in relation to your considerations for the charges.
Right, looking first at Raphael Smith. He's made no comment in interview, but before it happened he begged Polframan to let him do it, and he also admits the murder in front of him, doesn't he?
That's correct, yes. So I was listed in both of their statements.
So I think, yeah, the appropriate charge is murder of Ashley Bowman, conspiracy to murder Liam McCaffrey, and possession of the gun. So that's that one.
Raphael Smith, and that's the one for Mark Polframan.
Yeah, Polframan. He ordered it and he supplied the gun. So again, conspiracy to murder Liam McCaffrey, murder of Ashley Bowman, and again, possession of the prohibited weapon as well. Okay, so I'll authorise that.
Okay, Mark, you are charged with the following offences. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention now something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Jointly, together with Raphael Smith, on the 18th of the 7th, 04 at Manchester, in the county of Greater Manchester, murdered Ashley Bowman, contrary to common law.
Do you have any reply to make to that charge, Mark?
No comment. Also, between the 17th of the 7th, 04 and the 18th of the 7th, 04 at Manchester, in the county of Greater Manchester, conspired together with others to murder Liam McCaffrey, contrary to Section 1.1 of the Criminal Law Act 1977.
Do you make any reply to that?
No comment.
Raphael, you're going to be charged with several offences now.
Jointly, together with Mark Polframan, conspired together with others to murder Liam McCaffrey, contrary to Section 1, subsection 1 of the Criminal Law Act 1977.
Do you make any reply to that charge?
Next, your charge, jointly together with Mark Polframan, on the 18th of July at Manchester, in the county of Greater Manchester, murdered Ashley Bowman, contrary to common law.
Do you make any reply to that charge?
You'd have murdered Ashley Bowman at contrary to common law.
Do you want to make any reply?
Had in your possession a shotgun, which had been shortened in contraventions of Section 4.1 of the Firearms Act 1968. You got anything you want to say to those charges?
No.
Did an act namely directed that offenders dispose of the murder weapon, their clothing, and further remove any trace of forensic evidence about their person, knowing or believing to be guilty of the offence.
There will be no bail for this offence, Mr. Burke. You previously failed to appear at court and you commit offences whilst on bail.
And the police soon tracked down the last of the gang, Danny Jacobs.
Open up, it's the police!
Somebody staying there, yeah?
Open up, or we're putting the door in!
I'll leave you for that.
Alright. Danny, you're under arrest on suspicion of the murder of Ashley Bowman. Okay, you do not have to say anything. May harm your defence. Do not mention when questioned something you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence, okay?
Right.
Took him away now.
Yeah, he's...
Pardon?
Make sure that camera's out my face.
Turn over on your side.
Make sure that camera's out my face.
Turn it over on your side.
I swear I better not see no camera in my face. You best just move that camera out
You're
my
going to
face.
turn up and look at the wall, alright?
Keep that camera on my fucking face! What did I just tell you? What did I just tell you? Well, I remember your face and remember your face, so keep that one in mind, won't you? Smart ass.
With the gang behind bars, the police can turn their attention to building the case for trial. There's CCTV footage of another car leaving the scene of the murder. The police want to prove that it's Polframan's red Audi.
Right, mate, make a start if you will. The car needs to come over the hump that it's facing at the moment. Right, stop.
Right, Dave, stop.
To go back about 3 inches.
Mike, needs to go back about another...
3 inches, right, alright.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa!
Right, you're gonna like this one, Mike. The back end needs pivoting out towards the pavement about a couple of inches. You know what I mean?
So the back end, just run that by me, and the back end needs pivoting out.
Pivoting in towards the pavement.
Towards the junction?
Yeah. Right. If you're in the car, Towards the near side, a couple of inches more towards the near side. Towards the passenger side.
Yeah.
Whoa! Whoa!
Stop! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yep.
You see these two reflections on the actual corner?
Right, yeah.
They're lining up the two images to see if they're the same.
And we've also got to see this mark here. Right, we have that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The wheel arch is almost spot on. So let's put the lights on and two bobbies in the car so we're roughly the same weight, please.
Right, mate, sorry for the wait. All systems go. Get it fired up and get the lights on, and 2 of you in the car, please. That's it.
That's what I like.
Yeah, leave your fobs on.
We are, yes. There's no changes of any notes in the actual shape, size in any of the windows. See the reflections to where they stay on the roof and on the corner.
We're recording it now, Mike. I'll tell you when to knock it off.
There is now a strict timetable to prepare the case for court. Most of the inquiry team are on another job.
There's an exhibits officer, disclosure officer. There's 2 DCs doing the witnesses, and we've got 1 outside inquiry team. There's still people to interview yet, we haven't finished that yet. All the other stuff, including the demands from solicitors and barristers, carry on going.
Already the case has over 5,000 documents, which need to be edited and disclosed to the defence teams.
I've done 3 previous disclosure, acting as disclosure officer in 3 previous jobs, and this is by far the largest inquiry.
To explain from the beginning what's happened in this case to my colleagues would take so long that they wouldn't understand. But we do discuss cases, but we can't sit here and discuss them because we have so many.
The case will be presented in court by barristers Howard Bentham QC and his junior, Kate Blackwell.
Kate has done some redraft of admissions, thank you very much. They're slightly different from the original ones in that they encompass the records and analyses of the telephones, who they're attributed to, who we say they're attributed to, and evidence that linked those phones to that person.
That's all the phone calls. On that page, it gives you the explanation as to each phone. So there's Polframan's phone in red.
One of the things that worried me in particular was Bergin's phone, because that is pretty important in the sequence of things, contact between Bergin and Roper.
It is difficult with the Bergin phones. I think he's named under, that's it. This number's in Polframan's under the name of Neil.
And that's all set out in that, oh, that's great, thank you very much. We should put that in the jury bundle, I think, or at least be ready to, don't you?
Yeah. Jury bundle is the exhibits that we're going to let the jury see. It's not everything. It'll be, in this case, it'll be some photographs. It'll be the charts that we've had prepared and maps. The chart here is obviously the sequence of events which the police have prepared, which shows basically the times when things happened, photographs taken outside various pubs, and just takes it from the start to the finish. The other thing that goes in the jury bundle are the interview records. Now, obviously, we're not going to give them those. So counsel have gone through them and have worked out which parts are relevant. We try and make it as easy for the jury to get through as possible.
Only some exhibits will be shown to the jury. More than 1,000 others won't be needed.
I'm just trying to estimate roughly what the cost is of the forensic submissions in this case in total. I mean, for example, I can show you. I might have it's saying here the estimated cost of this submission, which is clothing of Michael Roper, 1 sock, 1 pair of shorts and 1 hooded shirt, was £1,415. Totaling everything up there in that, we come to exactly precisely £83,000. There we go, bargain.
The case eventually comes to trial at Liverpool Crown Court in January 2006, 18 months after Ashley's death. It's cost more than £2 million to get this far, but even so, convictions are not a certainty.
There are in this story those that are at the centre and those that are at the edge. Those who are right at the end of the story may be convicted, they may not be. They are at the edge of the story, still seriously involved, but at the edge. But those in the middle, or the core of the case, those who are charged with murder and conspiracy to murder, it all depends on one witness. If he comes up to proof and says what I think he will, then a conviction is likely for most defendants.
In court, there will be 5 QCs, 8 other barristers and their legal teams. In the dock, 7 defendants, accompanied by 10 security officers. The prosecution have 66 witnesses ready to appear. The trial will last for anything up to 12 weeks and cost another £1 million. But before the jury can be sworn in, there's a dramatic development.
Palfreyman has made some sort of gentle approach. He's suggesting that he might plead guilty to conspiracy to murder on the basis that he didn't intend to kill Bowman, which is clearly right, and he has some sort of defence, and I believe some sort of legal defence to the charge of actual murder. The question really is what sort of a sentence he'd get if he pleaded guilty to conspiracy. So let's wait and see what he says, and let's wait and see what the judge says.
Palfreyman's lawyers asked the judge what his sentence would be if he pleaded guilty to conspiracy to murder.
The judge set a sort of maximum figure for conspiracy to murder in respect of Mark Palfreyman that we thought was low by about 3, 4, 5 years. We expected it to be 20 years plus, and he said 17 or 18. He's perfectly entitled to reach his own view on tariffs, but the problem with announcing that for Palfreyman, who is the leader of the gang, is that it might set a standard by which the others are later sentenced.
I've had an approach from Mike Lavery on behalf of Rocky Burke. He's obviously indicating a guilty plea.
And I think that Mergin will also indicate some sort of a guilty plea. My guess is now that Smith will indicate he will plead to murder, in which case we will, in all probability, after consultation with the police, accept pleas to conspiracy from the others because they weren't in fact the trigger pullers and it was always their intention to kill somebody else. And then sentence will be passed, I would guess, later this week or early next week. What will the family feel?
The main part is to find someone guilty for the murder of Ashley.
Sure.
And I suppose we've attained that if he pleads guilty to it, which is the truth, really.
It is the truth.
And it's hard for us to come to terms with the fact that the reality's there and someone's admitting it so late, I think, in the day, and it's taken so long and she's been through so much.
But I think also that Mrs. Bowman must be thinking, as all family members of a murder victim do, that 18 years for a life is inadequate.
Palfreyman pleads guilty. He'll have to serve just 12 years before he's eligible for parole.
That was quite a significant moment. The case for the prosecution had just got a great deal stronger. Mark Palfreyman had pleaded guilty to conspiring with Raphael Smith, Les Brown and Danny Jacobs to murder Liam McCaffrey, and he was accepting everything our witnesses had said, and yet the others had all pleaded not guilty and were going to run a trial on the basis that didn't happen. Well, they must have thought, how am I going to do that now he's pleaded guilty?
One by one, all the other defendants plead guilty too. The judge describes Palfreyman's attitude in the lead-up to Ashley's murder as one of chilling arrogance. As the leader of the conspiracy, he sentences him to 18 years. Raphael Smith, The man who pulled the trigger gets life imprisonment with a minimum of 18 years. Danny Jacobs, who was with Smith when he shot Ashley, gets 14 years. Les Brown, the getaway driver, who was just 16 at the time, gets 10 years. Neil Bergin, whose DNA was on the shotgun, is jailed for 5 years. And Rocky Burke, who told the others how to destroy evidence of the murder, gets 18 months. Since he's served a year on remand, he walks free from the court.
Thank you, Mr. Bender. Thank you. Okay, I don't know what I'm going to say now because obviously I just don't think the sentence was big enough. But at the end of the day, you did your best. Thank you anyway. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Just want to say thank you as well to all yous for.
No problem.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks. Thanks.
Welcome, Jim.
Thank you. Thank you. See you.
Cheers, Jay.
See ya. Bye.
You actually ground the
I am indeed.
Jane, it's been a long time to get to today. How are you feeling?
I feel sick inside. I am really sick, especially at the sentence as well.
Why?
Because I don't think the sentence was good enough. I took my son's life when he was innocent. My life will never ever be the same again.
Is there any way you can kind of recover, go on from here? What would it take for that to happen for you?
Bring him back.
Bring Ashley back?
Bring him back and we'll be okay. We're fine. But we know it'll never happen. Ever. I mean, when they come out of prison, they'll be great. Live their lives. If we can't, we've got this memory over our heads. You know what I mean? For the rest of our life. Well, I know they'll forget it because they're that bad. They are bad people. And I'm glad they're locked up, but it should have been longer. That's all I can say.
Michael Roper, the man who shot himself in the foot, admitted having the gun and is jailed for 5 years. Because Hayley Smirk admitted the same offence 6 months earlier, she gets a lighter sentence and walks free from court. The pub which was the base for the Greenwood gang was closed shortly after their arrest and has now been demolished. And the crime rate has collapsed too. In the 6 months before the gang were arrested, there were 15 firearms incidents in Wythenshawe. In the 6 months afterwards, there was just one.
Professionally, it was an excellent result. In terms of the effect it's had on Wythenshawe and Manchester, it's excellent. But at the end of the day, Ashley's still dead, Jane's still grieving with Damien, and there are no winners.
It's kinda hard with you not around. Know you in heaven smiling down, watching us while we pray for you. Every day we pray for you till the